During the Holocaust, Hitler demanded the killing of all mentally and physically disabled people because he saw them as unfit to live. Imagine a couple going to the doctor for an invasive procedure to determine whether or not their child is going to have Down syndrome. In a study done in the Journal of Midwifery and Women's Health by Hoi-Young Chow, it was determined that 89 to 97% of women in this study, if they found out that their child was going to have Down syndrome, would abort the child. I've been studying eugenics and feticide for the last couple of weeks now and feel I've learned enough to share what I've learned with you guys. What I'd like to share first of all is the meaning of eugenics and how it is continued today in the battle for the perfect race. More specifically, I would like to discuss feticide, prenatal testing, and sterilization. I'm sure you all know what suicide and homicide is, but do you guys know what feticide is? In 2008 alone, according to the U.S. Census, there was 34,598 suicides, 14,299 homicides, and 1,211,500 feticides. A feticide is the intentional killing of a fetus. In 2008 alone, there was 1.2 million unnoticed humans killed. Imagine what would happen if abortion is legalized. There are many reasons as to why a woman will commit feticide. She may see herself as unfit to have a child, maybe she doesn't want a child, or the child lacks the characteristics that she wants. And it can be justified by saying, if you have the opportunity to have a normal child, why not? That child will be better off. Or some people just say that it's the woman's right to choose to have a child of her liking. And as stated in Rose Singh's publication, an Encyclopedia of Interpersonal Violence, Gendercide, media reports from India state that female feticide cases have totaled millions in the past several years. These are children being killed just for being women. One of the main reasons that feticide has increased is because of prenatal testing. And with prenatal testing, you can know anything you want to know about a child before the child's born. Imagine your perfect family. Now imagine getting that family without the odds. In today's world, we can determine whether or not a child is going to be born with any sort of genetic mutation. You can know their gender, you can know their hair color, eye color, and anything that you don't like, you can just get rid of that child. Medora W. Barnes, in her entry in the Encyclopedia of Gender and Society, Genetic Prenatal Testing states, concerns of genetic testing are no longer limited to gender. Parents may choose to have offspring who are either darker in skin or who carry the so-called gay gene. This is justified by parents claiming that due to the levels of racism and homophobia, that the child would be better off not being born. And here's a quote. Of all the tasks which we have to face, the noblest and most sacred for mankind is that each racial species must preserve the purity of the blood which God has given it. These are God's gifts and God's handiwork. Stated by Hitler before Reichstag in January 1937. In our goal for becoming superior humans, we must avoid the deficient, and even more so, avoid the reproduction of the deficient. Eugenics means good genes, and that's what we want. And one of the main ways that eugenics is being forced today is by eugenic sterilizations. More than 30,000 eugenic sterilizations have occurred in California, according to N. Ann Davis in the Encyclopedia of Gender and Society, Eugenics. Do you see yourself as fit to make the decision as who should have a child and who shouldn't? Some people do. And by this, they're encouraging people who are seen to have better genes to have children and discouraging those seen as lacking those genes not to have any children at all. And this takes place today. And in some extreme cases, such as in 1989 with Leanna Murr, she discovered at the age of 25 that her appendectomy that she had recently had was actually a legal decision of the Canadian government and was a sterilization procedure because they saw her as unfit to have a child. Some people see this as speeding up natural selection, and it's going to happen someday, so might as well be now. So today I've covered eugenics with you and how it's still found in the world today, and more specifically how feticides kill more people than murder and suicide together. And although genetic prenatal testing may seem like a good thing, in the wrong hands, it's causing the silent Holocaust. And overall, eugenics is a good thing, and it can create a better world, but only if it's done right. And as stated by Adolf Hitler in February of 1945, life does not forgive weakness.